This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Knight Takes Pawn, Book 1 of the Red Knight series by Martha Sweeney, to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 3, Natalie. My new room is a lot nicer. It has a full, king-size posted bed, silk sheets, a dresser for my clothes that don't hang in the closet, 2 nightstands with lamps, a lounge chair, a few books, and this time my bathroom has a door. The amenities are more pleasing to the eye, like I'm staying at an elegant hotel that seemed to only exist before the wars, the kind only the elite in our society could afford. To pass time as the days continue to tick by, I've started to train myself to wake up before breakfast is served. I jog in place, do push-ups, sit-ups, and anything else I can come up with to strengthen my body and mind. I need to be strong and ready for what's to come. It seems like a week since I've seen Jagger. Some fancy clothing has been delivered to me today that were paired with a note. The note was from Jagger, and all it said was to be ready for our business transaction to transpire. I use one of the hooks from a clothes hanger to make notches on the frame of the bathroom door as a way to try to keep track of each day. After lunch, I slowly move about the room, trying to find something, anything, that could be used as a weapon. So far, I can break up a wooden hanger or two to use as a stake, but that's it. When Jagger explained what he wanted me to do, and if I complied, he promised I'd receive certain additional benefits. Better food and lots of clothing would be an improvement. I still haven't spoken to him or anyone else because I don't trust any of them, so I just smile and nod when they expect a response. I'm not sure how much time has passed, but tonight was the 3rd time I was expected to service a client for Jagger. The clients paid to get access to my room, thinking they're going to have their way with me. They're escorted by 2 guards, usually the same 2, and neither of them are Breaker. The clients would approach me in one fashion or another. Some were timid while others were aggressive. When the opportunity presented itself, I'd use the choking wire that one of the guards had previously given me to strangle the man to death before letting him have the chance to touch me. Some clients thought I was playing a game of cat and mouse, but they're always confused with who is the cat until I get the wire around their neck. Right after each kill, I knock on the door from the inside to let the guards know I've finished my job. 4 guards come into the room, the 2 who were always outside my room when I was to service a client, and 2 others. One of them is always Breaker. During my 7th kill, I got daring. Just as 3 of the 4 guards dragged some fat Dak out of the room, I pounced on Breaker and managed to get the wire around his neck for about a minute until he flipped me over and onto my back. The wind was knocked out of me the second I hit the floor. Breaker wasn't happy and threw a couple of solid punches to my face and stomach. After that night, Jagger must have heard about what I did because Breaker was relieved from cleanup duty. Jagger also took away some of the nicer things I was getting for doing his dirty work. Instead of 3 meals a day, I got only 1, and I didn't know what time of day it would come. It was always random. About a week later, once I was cleared to resume duties, Jagger gave back all 3 meals. 2 days later, I was given a new client, but this time, things were different. The Jagger was able to get away with a little more with me than any of the others until I realized that I was set up and punished at the same time. I wasn't given a weapon. It took about 5 minutes of the Jagger chasing me around the room for me to figure out what to use and how to kill him. But I finally got him. I pretended that I wanted him to tie me up with the use of the pillowcases. Right as the bastards started taking one off, that's when I jumped to attack. It was tricky to pull off, but I managed to choke him with a pillowcase while using the bottom of the metal lamp base to bash his head in. I realized at that point that I had lost Jagger's trust and knew that I needed to get it back. There is a possibility that Breaker prevented me from having a weapon, but I'm not sure. My days are starting to blur since there have been a few times when Jagger sends more than 1 client a night, while others are uneventful. I've killed more men than I could count on 2 hands, but I know exactly how many, and I remember every single one of their faces. When I hear voices just beyond my bedroom door, other than the distant music, it means another client is about to enter. Something is different this time. A conversation is occurring. I can't make out what they're saying even with me standing just a few feet away. It doesn't matter, though. I move and I get my makeshift weapons ready, hiding it out of sight for the moment. I'm not sure why I haven't been given a wire yet, which concerns me. I've been good, so I can't understand why they wouldn't supply me with any kind of weapon prior to the client entering. When the locks click, I back up and stand by the bed. "Right in here," Breaker boasts, opening the door all the way. "We've got a special one just for you, Knight. A way to say welcome to the club." "I told you," the man's voice trails off when he sees me. I don't act happy to see any of them, more timid and shy as if it's my first night. I've noticed that behaving like this diffuses the men, allowing me to kill them sooner. "Every new guy gets a girl for the first night here," Breaker comments. "I'm not new," the man states. "You're new here at the house," Breaker says, slapping him on the back. "Enjoy the spoils. Jagger would want you to. Remember, she's yours all night. Do with her as you please." Breaker pushes the man forward a little before he quickly steps back and out of the room. "You'll get to choose one of your own whores soon," the other says. I hear the sound of the latch being pulled into place, which causes the man in the room with me to turn around. The change in routine piques my interest. I don't think this man is a typical client. The guy tugs on the handle, but the door doesn't budge. "Open the door, Breaker," he commands. Nothing happens. "Open the dacking door," he directs. "She's one of the prettier ones," Breaker shouts from behind the door. "She needs a good breaking into, too. We'll see you in the morning." "Open the dacking door," the man repeats. His request is denied. I position my first weapon behind my back, ready to defend myself. I'm fairly certain that Breaker is holding a grudge and plans to have me taken care of by this guy who is not built like any of the previous clients. He's tall, young, much younger than the rest, and I can see his muscles through his tight black shirt. I'm not interested in being killed over Breaker's pathetic ego, so I steady myself and watch the man closely. After waiting a few more seconds, he turns around and faces me. He studies me for a bit where he stands. "What do you have behind your back?" he asks. I offer a timid, confused expression. "What is it?" he pushes. I dart my eyes to the floor. He suddenly moves forward with slow, steady steps. "What's behind your back?" he restates with a cool, calm tone. "Did they give you a gun?" I wish they had given me a gun, because if they did, I would have shot his dacking ass in the back by now. Then, I would have proceeded to shoot them too, all while trying to escape. "Give it to me," he directs. I shake my head in opposition and step back. He moves closer. "Give it to me." I object and shift to give myself leverage. He moves fast, faster than I anticipate, and catches me by the wrist when I lunge to stab him in the chest. When he registers what I have in my hand, he laughs out loud. My eyes narrow at his response, and I shoot my right knee up toward his groin. A moan escapes my lips when he spins me around and presses me against the wall. "Did you honestly think you could kill me with this?" He scoffs with a chuckle. "I'm a trained professional, darling. You can't kill me with a tiny piece of wood." I grunt when he tightens his hold on my arm that sends more pain searing through my body. "I'm not going to hurt you," he says calmly in my ear. "I don't like this situation any more than you do." The pain remains, but his touch does not. I turn quickly, not wanting to be caught off guard. He's a few feet away from me and tosses the broken rod of the wooden hanger toward the door. I stare at him in shock when he walks away without another word. He places his gun, which is still in its holster, on the nightstand and then lays on the bed above the covers. I'm completely thrown off by his tactics. "Come and get some rest," he says, patting the other side of the bed. I don't move or say anything. "I won't bite," he chuckles. "Not unless you want me to." Several different scenarios flurry through my head, and I try to decide on which one is my best option. I scan his face, wanting to know the moment his eyes fly open as I creep slowly towards his side of the bed. The walls and floors are made of cement, so I don't have to be concerned about creaking floorboards. His breathing is steady as his hands remain clasped over his belly. My gaze darts to his gun only once and then returns to his face. Needing to act fast before he catches me, I grab the gun and aim it at him. Before the gun slips out of the holster, his large, warm, strong, calloused hands curl around my wrist. I strengthen my hold on the gun as he tugs me toward him. He flips us both over on the bed, with me below him, yet I've still got the gun in my hand. "You want to kill me?" he asks, pressing my right arm down into the mattress. I don't reply as I try to figure out how to get the gun to point at him. I reach with my other hand to get it, but he blocks me, restraining that arm too. He smiles. Did they tell you to kill me? My head pulls back at his question. They did, didn't they? I buck my hips, but he's too heavy. Or, are you mad that I don't want to play? He inspects. My eyes narrow. Is that it? You need a little tickle before you sleep? He laughs. I lift my head and try to bite his arm. Behave, he directs. When I don't comply, he collects both of my arms above my head with one hand and uses the other to hold my face firmly. You're a fiery one, aren't you? He laughs. I collect enough spit in my mouth to send it flying at his face. His eyebrows lift. So, you're into the kinky shit, huh? He tries to wipe his face on the inside of his arm. Look, I'm tired. I want to get some sleep. They won't let me out until the morning, so you're stuck with me. Got it? I shift my head and try to bite one of his fingers. I don't care what you do, darling, he says. You need to take care of yourself. Do it. I'm going to sleep. 2 seconds later, he's laying flat on his back in the exact same position as before, but with his gun between his hands and chest. I don't move, shocked by what's happening. Is he seriously not going to try to have sex with me? Not that I want to. Is he bluffing? Waiting for me to lower my defenses? Good night, he bids. I shoot up off the bed, confused by the game he's playing. Oh, and I'm a light sleeper, he states, so don't try anything else. This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full, unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.